Alright, how's it going, folks? We're kind of going back in time today, and we're going back to the early game of GT6. For anybody that's picking this up after we started this series, there have been some changes. So, one of the first major changes to the way that we started here in this world is the bricked burning box. Which can be made very simply and very easily. Let's get this thing up here with 8 bricks and a fire starter. And remember, you don't want to use a lighter, it'll get used up. But a match you got off a zombie, the grass, dried grass fire starter, that right there is the best thing to use. It's a one-time use thing, and it'll make you one of these. And then the other thing is a change to molds for the ceramic, which is where you can now make your molds into the proper shape, so you don't need to have a chisel early on. So if you want to make just a plate mold, you make a clay mold, which just takes clay balls, your flint knife, and a wooden rolling pin, and then you put that with a plank of wood. It will use the plank of wood, remember that for most of these recipes, and you get your plate mold. And then with that, you can make your first bronze that you'll need to make into plates for your burning box, so you can get away from this inefficient one. Now, once you get into bronze, you're going to want to get into making iron. And when we started this series, we went out and dug up black sand, threw it in a crucible with some coal, and we got our iron. Well, this has changed again. Now when you go and get your coal, you're going to end up with this raw coal. And this raw coal can be used to make torches just like any other coal or lignite coal. But it is not broken down. It's basically the same as an ore. And you make it into coke, which you'll want to do, but not with the raw stuff. You can crush it down to get your crushed stuff. Well, what we're going to want to do is break it up on an anvil to get our crushed stuff. Because currently, at this point in time, we should not have a crusher. We may have made a crusher. It's completely possible to make a crusher. But it would be difficult to get the water into it without a drain, which takes iron. So for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to use our imagination and imagine that this is our bronze anvil and our bronze hammer. And we're going to crush this down. And we're going to get one crushed with 6 tiny crushed. And we're going to do that with all 5 of these. We're going to get on our work table. We're going to go ahead and put these back together, which will give us 8 of them. And so we can have the proper amounts. We're going to go ahead and do that again with all of them. Picking up our little coal bits we get here, which is 1/72, which we can turn into tinies, and then we can turn that into another dust. So we now have 9 coal dust. And this is what we want to use to make our iron. Now, you will want to use coal coke as soon as you can make a coke oven. But you need iron to make the coke oven. So that should probably be one of the first things that you use the iron that we're about to make out of. Now, to save on time, we are going to use my current burning box, which is a gas chrome one. Now, the next thing that has changed, black sand has had a huge change to it. If you throw it in a crucible, it's going to give you 9 magnetite. Now, I have told you that you could use a sifting table to get little bits of gold out of your black sand. Well, you don't want to do that anymore if you want the iron out of it, because now you get slate dust, red sand, manganese, tin, and zinc. So now if you want zinc, tin, or manganese, it's perfectly fine to sift it. But not if you want the iron, because for the most part you're going to lose the iron. Red sand can be used to get iron, but that's way more advanced than what you're going to be doing now. You can also centrifuge it, which will give you vanadium pentoxide instead of the whatever the hell that other thing was. Let's see, sifter instead of the manganese. And then you can use the magnetic separator, which is way, way advanced past where we are, which gives you basically the same stuff. So what we're going to want to do is put this in our crafting grid, and we will turn it into the 9 magnetite. Now, what I will be doing, since I use black sand as my primary source of iron, is I'm going to put it in here, and then all the black sand I had just got turned into magnetite automatically. So now we want to make iron. So if we grab a couple of these and we hit U, you'll see in the combination smelting that we need 14 of them and 3 things of carbon to make 6 iron. Or we can do, you probably want to craft this into dust. You can do 6 coal, and that would be 14 will give you your iron. So what we're going to do is 7 and 3. So there is our 7 magnetite, and we're going to use 3 of this coal, because coal is considered half a unit of carbon. Now the coal coke is a full unit of carbon per dust, or per ingot, or per item, whichever way you're doing it. So you definitely want to get the coal coke as soon as possible. You can also use charcoal for this, but again, coke oven. So we're going to put in 3 of these. We're going to light it up. And since we're making a coke oven, we're going to want to make rods and a plate. So we'll pop that out of there, and we will get a plate to put right there. And we'll go ahead and make regular long rods. Let's turn that off. And if we hit that and that, and there's still one more in there, and I don't know where my pincers are, so we're going to wait a second for this to cool. Usually about 10 seconds. There we go. And there's our second rod. So there is our long iron rod, which if we look at the coke oven, we need 3 rods and 2 screws and a plate. So we can take the long rod, cut it into 2 rods. We can take the other long rod, cut it into 2, but then cut that as well down into the bolts. And we should be able to make everything we need out of that first run to make our coke oven. And then we will not be reliant on so much of the coal. We can use charcoal, which is the same as coal. It's 2 to 1. Or we can take our coal, turn it into coke, and we can use that then as a 1 to 1 for carbon, which will save us on our coal that we have to go mine. Now, remember one other thing. When you're mining your coal, or any other ore now, you want to use a fortune pickaxe. So you're probably going to want to go and make yourself a basin, and you can put that on just like I have here, or you can literally, I think, let's try this. I don't remember exactly. It's been a while since I've done this, but you're going to want to make a nether portal very quick like, so you can get Ephron. You can also use the let me think for a second here. There's our jug I need. You can also use Solarium for fortune, but it's got way less durability. Ephron has got really good durability, and it's level 3, so that's why I use it. But if we look at fortune, you primarily have Solarium, which is durability of 128 with a quality of 2. You have Ephron, which is 500 durability with quality of 3. Now, granted, the Solarium is faster, so if you're into speed, that would be your way to go. Vibranium, you're not going to be making. Basalts is something you have to have CoFH for. And then Jade is your go-to for Fortune 3. And then Ironwood is a Fortune 1 if you have the Twilight. Or if you have IC2, you can breed a GT crop of Ironwood as well. So that may be a decent way to go. Steel Leaf is 2. Again, Twilight. Or if you have IC2, there is a GregTech crop for that you can breed. And then you have Midasium and Mithril, which are from Metallurgy. Vibranium Steel, again, not anytime soon. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go and grab some. We're going to try to take this basin downstairs. This may work. It may not work. May work. We're going to try it. And we're also going to take this measuring pot, which you can make a measuring pot out of ceramic, which will work perfectly fine for this. But we're going to try to cast up some obsidian for a nether portal. You can just do it with a bucket when you make your iron. Just make an iron bucket, and you can do the old iron bucket and water thing. Anybody that's played vanilla will probably know how to do that. But we're going to try it here. Let's see. I can take out that block. Now we're going to put that right there. We're going to grab our measuring pot. We're going to pick up a thing. And we're going to try to put it. Yeah, it won't work in the basin. Now I do know you can use, I do believe it's a, I do believe you can use a drum to do that. But we're going to go ahead and just grab a bit of this. You can get 2 amounts into there. I was really hoping the basin thing didn't work. I do know on the server we did it with a drum and it worked. So I was wondering if a measuring pot would. I had never tried that. But we're using the jug so we can get more up. You can get 2 buckets worth in a drum, so we have 3 on us. Each thing is going to make us 1, so we'll have to make a couple trips. But we can literally take this off of here. We can put our basin back down right there. We can tap that on there. We can turn this on. Go ahead and get us another one ready. And as soon as this gets back hot, we can pour it. Put in another one. Again, you're going to want to wait. I have it auto pouring over there, so not exactly what we're looking for, but you can get your obsidian that way, so you can make your nether portal, and you can go get you some quartz. Quartz is what you need for the Ephron. You're going to want to get the nether quartz, which spawns in, it looks like this here. It spawns in plates basically around the nether, pretty easy to find. And then you'll just crush it up and wash it. And that's something else that you're going to be able to do with your iron, is make you a cauldron to be able to wash your stuff in before you get a sluice. Unless you want to go ahead and use bronze to make your sluice, that is completely possible. But when you wash that, you will end up with tiny purified Ephron. So that is our backup video to show you guys some of the earlier changes that have been made in the game past where we were. Our next video should be back to messing around with our new circuits we made. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.